Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. All right, for my affirmation infusion today, of course, if you look out into the world of appearances, you could just say, oh, affirmation is just such bullshit. But first of all, we're talking about the world of your imagination, where you're free to think and picture anything you want. And in fact, you might find that what you do within your head replicates itself, manifests itself outside. So at least when you're doing the virtual reality, don't bring in other things from the world of appearance and what you might think is reality into the virtual world, because that's how you're not going to get a life-fulfilling representation or outpicturing or manifestation in your life. So that means the first thing you have to do is attune to feeling good. If you're waiting for everything else in the world to be peaceful and loving and harmonious, you'll never have a moment of happiness. So can you allow the well-being that's natural to you to flow? So first, that means you have to look at what makes you feel good more often and what makes you not feel good less often. That's how you identify what's important to you. That's how you align with it. That's how you take the path of least resistance, which benefits you most. And then you learn to appreciate more than criticize. You learn to be life-giving rather than life-draining. So continue to observe what you make your dominant vibration. That's what's going to be your point of attraction. And then if you haven't discovered this yet, things go better when you're happier. So I hope you all let the law of attraction make it more. And let's move on to what I want to share today about art. Art, or I should say the artist, to me is one of the contemporary models of what it is to be a hero. Because just like the hero journey, the artist has to separate themselves from everything they know. They have to do battle with the forces of creativity inside themselves that would shut them down. And then they have to bring back what they find in their own vision through the form they express it in. And since artists are totally under the gun to have to commoditize themselves, it seems like it sells out the beauty of just doing the art for the sake of the art. Now, art is also connected to mythology, because the storytelling aspect of mythology is an art form. It's an organization of symbolic forms that are metaphoric of the possibilities of human potential, human experience, in a given society, in a given time, in a given geographical location. All religions are metaphors, but if they're read denotatively and literally, they're a lie. If they're read connotatively, then you can hear the voice of the elder say to you, this much we know. Now, art, as defined by William James, is supposed to lead to what's called silent luminous stasis, which is a great way of defining what samadhi is. And he says when you look at a painting, for instance, like in a museum, the first thing that you notice is integritas, integrity. The whole thing makes sense. Like when you look at a painting, it has a frame around it. It's kind of like hermetically sealed away from everything else. The only thing that's important, or the only thing that exists, is what's on the inside of that frame. The next thing you notice is what's called consonantia, or consonance, or a certain kind of harmony. Every part is perfectly in relationship to every other part. And without one part, the whole wouldn't be the same. So you look at the rhythmic relationship or the arrangement of the parts to the whole and the whole to the part, and then if that is favorably achieved, you get what's called claritas, or the epiphany of light shining through. And it gives you that fascinating experience. It kind of arrests you, right? It stops the mind from thinking all of a sudden. It's not the art form that makes you want to possess the thing. It's not seductive pornographic art. It's not the kind of art that moralizes and didactically tells you this is your brain on drugs and tries to, inculcate upon you some kind of principle. But it's an eye of the universe, beholding the rest of the universe. The mystery of whatever it is that you're beholding is the same thing as the mystery of the universe. That's why they say Cézanne's apples were just as good as the Pieta. So may you find that sacred thing through your art form that hooks you up to the deity of your heart, that takes you beyond time beyond time, beyond temporal manifestation. And may you learn in your life to die to the infantile obedience and decide, are you going to submit to the authority of society where you expect protection, or are you going to awaken to self-responsibility and take off the primary mask which society puts on you to wear, and instead completely trust your inner adolescent, the part of you that was awakened to what life should be yours, and fight the tension between those things, and then develop into the mature adult that's willing to take the risks to express what is truly within you. So that means in order to find your own center, you have to hold the world off for a while and find your own hermetic retort. For me, it's yoga. But again, remember the difference between the mystic and the artist is the artist still has a craft that ties them to the world. For the mystic, everything takes them to the other world, to the transcendent.